What's up, heathens? We're back again with another reaction video. We're going to be checking out Rammstein, Meine Tränen, which translates over to My Tears. This one has been long requested, or recommended to me. It's been recommended for a while now, and I keep getting pulled in different directions and finding something that I think would be cool and then something that else has been recommended. But we're doing it today. I'm looking forward to it because this album is pretty fucking good, and I do know that this one is one of their slower songs, and they tend to get pretty fucking heavy subject matter. So let's do this. If you're new here, thanks so much for hanging out. Thumbs up, subscribe, we greatly appreciate it. After this one, I have about 20 other Rammstein reactions to check out, so have fun with that. If you like this one, let's do this.
Ich leb noch immer bei Mama, jetzt schon alt, doch immer da. Auch wenn die Ärmel jetzt länger sind, bin ich immer noch ihr kleines Kind. Wir sind allein, doch viel zu zweit und teilen gern ein halbes Leid. Das Haus ist klein, die Stille groß. Sie zwingt mich oft auf ihren Schoß. Ich leb noch immer bei Mama und bleibe wohl für immer da. Im Haus fehlt lange schon ein Mann. Ich helfe aus, so gut ich kann. Viel Liebe schenkt mir Mutter nicht, doch schlägt sie immer noch in mein Gesicht. Und ab und zu hab ich geweint, da hat sie lächelnd nur gemeint. Ein Mann weint nur, wenn seine Mutter stirbt. Der Tod ist stark, das Herz ist schwach. Wenn es sein Fläche Blut verliert, der Klügere gibt nach.
Damn, and we're already fucking halfway through. Damn, that was giving me chills in the chorus right there. Yeah, it's heavy song. Okay, it starts out with a dude. He's been living with his mom. He's grown to a man, but she's abusive. She's clearly abusive. We see this a lot, but it never gets talked about. About how men are victims of domestic abuse. We see it, but nobody talks about it. It's just not important. It's not a popular subject. It happens within relationships. But it also happens in households with mothers and their children. A lot of people don't want to talk about that either. They always look at the dad being the incompetent parent, and it's just not that way. And most of the time, it's what's presented right here whenever you're talking about a broken home. But the dude that he's narrating as, I'm assuming, or speaking from his point of view, he seems like he's very demasculated or emasculated. I'm not sure the right term for it. But because it's talking about how he's grown up and she still wants him to sit in his lap. The house is small, but the silence is so big. I think that's what it said. It's pretty dark. It's some pretty dark stuff, and it happens a lot, and nobody fucking talks about it. But I'm not gonna talk too much on this one. I want to hear the rest of it really quick. Let's do this. I like that line too, where he said the wiser head gives in. I'm not sure if this is exactly what he meant right here, but normally the wiser person or the smarter person or the person who has the right outcome in mind are quickest just to give in and shut down and just stop, because they know that it's not going to be any good. It's a waste of time. It's a wasted effort. And I think that's a big problem too in society, is people who are really smart often just keep quiet because they don't want to be berated or verbally abused or whatever the case may be. So it's normally the people who have no clue what they're talking about are always the loudest ones.
Auch den Vater konnte sie nicht lieben, hat ihn aus der Welt getrieben. Dann und wann ein stummer Schrei und eine kleine Litanei. Viel Liebe gab ihm Mutter nicht, doch schlug sie oft in sein Gesicht. Ab und zu hat er geweint, da hat sie lächelnd nur gemeint. Ein Mann weint nur, wenn seine Mutter stirbt. Der Tod ist stark, das Herz ist schwach. Wenn das Sein frischen Blut verdirbt, der Klügere gibt nach. Du solltest dich schämen, zeig nie deine Tränen. Du solltest dich schämen, zeig nie deine Tränen. Deine Tränen.
And there we see it. She was abusive to the father and drove him out. Now what's interesting to me is it didn't say that she drove him out of the house. It said she drove him out of this world. Something that really matters a lot to me is fatherhood and father's rights and how men are treated coming out of a relationship, and especially when they want to have when they want to be present in their kids' lives. Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about it. And what I could see, this is what I'm putting together right here. I could be completely off, I could be completely wrong, but this is how the song relates to me and what I've read about and looked into personally. When it talks about she was abusive to him and drove him out of this world, like I said, this is a heavy topic that nobody talks about ever. It's demasculating men and the rise of extreme feminism. Now, I'm not against women who feel like they need equality, but this extreme feminism where they hate men and they're abusive toward men and they blame men, everything on men that's wrong in the world. This is what I'm talking about right here. A lot of times men are driven out of their homes, and no matter how much effort they put into it, they're kept, they don't have rights to their kids, and ultimately they could either end up in jail because they can't pay the exuberant amounts of money that it requires to be able to have access to your kids, or they'll commit suicide. So I think possibly in this case, drove him out of this world means he probably fucking killed himself. And it happens a lot more than anybody wants to talk about. And I'm not saying that this is for everybody. I understand there are dads who leave their homes because they don't want any fucking part of it. But on the other hand, this does happen as well. And again, this is just my interpretation of it. And at the end of the day, you have these narcissistic mothers and who are going to take out all of that onto their kids. And you can argue with me if you want about it. I'm not going to take part in it. You can look it up for yourself. But kids in broken homes are more likely to be abused in a household with a mother due to either a boyfriend who comes in and abuses them, or because she's very vengeful and spiteful of their father, and she will do anything in her power to hurt him. And I think this is what this is touching on right here. And again, I'm not saying this is how it always is. I understand things are different everywhere, but this is, you can look it up. The statistics are there, and it is what it is. And then I also want to talk about you should be ashamed of crying. You should only cry when your mother dies. Again, it's men are expected to be strong and providers and protectors and all this shit. But at the same time, they want them to be emotionally intelligent. But it seems like there is no in between for them. They like to say either you're a bitch because you're crying and you're talking about your feelings, or you're a fucking narcissist and misogynist for being overly powerful, or whatever it is they want to say. It's very, very hard to find that common ground with a lot of, not all women, but a lot of women today. And that's why a lot of men are just stepping away from it and are okay with being single. But again, I'm probably going off the rails like with other shit, but I think this is the base of all of those extra problems that are coming out in society. And when I say the rise of extreme feminism and emasculating men, I think what our system wants and what our system craves from people is a weak society who is conflicted with one another. And whenever a family can't stay together and you've got so much stress and so much conflict on your brain, you can't be as resistant to an overbearing system that's fucking you over every day out of your life. So again, with all of that said, my purpose wasn't to get on here and harp away at women and hate on women and go off the rails talking about parenting and fatherhood and men's rights and government conspiracies and shit like that. But this is my personal interpretation of the song. This is how the song speaks to me and moves me, because it's something that I care so much about in my personal life and stuff that I read about on my own. So if you want to tell me that I'm wrong and my interpretation is wrong, I'm going to say that you're full of shit, because that's what it means to me. And you probably don't know Till and his purpose for writing these lyrics. That's what I get out of it. But if you're cool with what I said, then I appreciate you watching it. Again, that's my interpretation. And I do welcome your interpretation as well. I understand it's going to mean something differently. And I do appreciate hearing everybody's point of view, as long as we all keep it polite. But again, this is probably my 20th reaction I've done of Rammstein. They're my favorite band to react to, because I thoroughly enjoy reading their lyrics, the interpretation of it. And they have a lot of depth and layers to their lyrics, and I appreciate these guys so much. But jump in the comments section, be cool to me and to each other. Let me know how the song affects you and how it speaks to you personally. I would love to hear it. You don't have to agree with me. I'm cool with that. That's just what it means to me. Thumbs up, subscribe, and you guys please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I'll see you on the next reaction.